Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Project Pixel. My name is Ryan, and on today's video, let's take a look at one of my favourite characters. It's Tigger from the Winnie the Pooh series, and this particular pixel art of Tigger took a grand total of 3 hours, 54 minutes and 46 seconds to make. And the reason why there's a little bit of a chuckle there is probably, I'd go as far as to say, maybe about 70% of the footage that went into making this will never see the light of day. And that is because this particular Tigger took so long and is so unnecessarily complex. So let's tell you a little bit about this Tigger. Aside from the fact that Tiggers are wonderful things, and this particular Tigger has a top made out of rubber, a tail made out of springs, is bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. And the wonderful thing about Tiggers is this particular Tigger is the only one. Now, let's tell you a bit more about this. So, the actual base artwork came from DeviantArt, or Demon Art, or Deviant Artist, or however you pronounce the site. You all know what I mean. So, that particular site there, I was actually browsing through there. Basically their pixel art and their sewing and everything like that. Don't ask why I was in the sewing section. Don't judge me. The sewing section is actually where I found this particular Tigger. Would you believe I only found this particular Tigger because I was searching for the word tiger and spelt it wrong. And that then made me think, why don't I have a look at Tigger? And when I did, I found basically a sewing pattern. And this sewing pattern for Tigger is huge. I mean, amazingly huge. You can basically see the whole of Tigger, his tail and everything. And it's stunning. So, knowing that I wanted to now build Tigger more than anything the world could possibly imagine, I took it into Photoshop, and then from there I cropped down the image, worked out pixels, and then basically set to work on the colour palette. And the colour palette for this Tigger is unbelievably complex. You can see down the side there just how many colours there are in this particular build. And this has been built on a 64x64 lot. However, with the frames, the borders and everything like that, the way I've cropped the image, you end up with around a 60x60 picture of Tigger, and then the borders add an extra couple of pixels around the edge, which then acts as kind of a frame sort of thing and really finish it off. But the reason why this is so complex is the measuring and the amount of different colours, and none of them connect to each other. It's not like you could pick, like with Rapidash for example, I could pick a block of colour, in this case black, do the outlines, I can then move in and then pick a whole block of colour and then do all the texturing and the mane and such. No, Tigger was literally all over the place, and you would think a character could basically, who is a tiger, who is mostly bright orange, there wouldn't be that many colours, but oh no, you are wrong. So yeah, a lot of colours, a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, and so many times I had to just scrap everything I was doing. I tried to save quite a few times, but just couldn't. It was just beyond saving. So yeah. Now, just when I mentioned the frame, you'll see around the edge, it kind of has this castle sort of cranulated look. I had to think of the word there. That is purely for a measuring. That's the only reason it's there, and it will get replaced a bit later on with the actual wallpaper kind of backing frame thing. It was just to allow me to actually count how many pixels I needed to go. Now, I mentioned the colour palette of having many colours. The colours will change several times throughout this build. There'll be a few that get redone, there's a few that get changed. Really, that is for nothing more than it's just so hard to do. I'm constantly looking to the side screen to see what it looks like. I'm then having to count the pixels, then correct the pixels that I'm making mistakes on, and it just compounds the issue. And this will be a prime example. This area here will actually be changed to a much darker, yellowy looking colour. So this won't actually stay, it'll get changed to something slightly different. But sadly, this being The Sims, and if you try and flood fill an entire carpet, it will do all that carpet on the entire lot, which seems like it would fix my problem. But when you've used this carpet for something else, it actually compounds the issue. But that is stuff for future Ryan to deal with. So this particular Tigger, along with my recent Project Pixels, will be available for download. You can see the colour change I was talking about just then. You can head over to the Mysterious Mr. Ryan gallery page on The Sims 4, where you will be able to download this, along with my latest in the pixel art collections. So I'm trying to step things up and try and get bigger and better with these pixel arts. I'm keeping to The Sims at the moment because, to be perfectly honest, I know The Sims back to front. I really want to start doing these in Minecraft on some of the super flat lots, but at the moment I'm having issues with finding the colour palettes, getting the colour palettes. I know roughly what I'm doing in The Sims. So let me know if you guys want me to build in other things, say Terraria or a Starbound, for example. I can certainly have a go. Also Minecraft, obviously we can do some pixel art stuff in Minecraft if you want. And if you have any ideas for who you want to see in pixel art, I'm going to kind of go on a Disney motif at the moment. I've got a few Disney characters I want to take a look at, so I might see if maybe I can spend a bit of time doing some Disney stuff. But if you guys have any ideas, obviously just let me know in the comment section down below. But just moving on now, just working on the ears of Tigger. Again, playing with the colours, and you can see just how many different types of wood tones and browns and such. You wouldn't think a character that is so orange would have this many different shades of black, greys and browns required to get him to work. It's unbelievable. And now we can move on to the finally turning Tigger orange. This shade of orange will actually change several times as well, purely for the fact that I just wasn't happy with the brightness element. Tigger should have sort of shading light and dark patches, and really I was having a massive issue with that, but I got it working in the end, and overall I'm really pleased with this particular Tigger. So just moving around the top of Tigger's head now, just doing the last little bits, and then really it's going to be a case of just making a few sort of subtle change. You can see the colour palette's just changing ever so slightly there, and now what I'm doing is he's kind of on this weird green triangle kind of square rectangle thing. There's me confusing my shapes on the actual artwork I took from DeviantArt. And I actually quite liked it, so I decided to incorporate it into this, and I just thought it sort of helped the picture out a little bit, especially with this white border. Really made it look amazingly nice. And then when we move into the glamour shots, very shortly you'll get to see the pan shots and everything that make Tigger so awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked this video, please, I urge you to hit that like button, and don't forget to get subscribed so you don't miss a single video in this series or any of my other series trailers, for which should be playing on your screen right now. Also, don't forget you can get into the descriptions, and in the video description you'll find links to all my social media, Twitter, Facebook and Google+, along with all links to all my playlists. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I am out. Stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video.